There's been a lot of rumor and speculation surrounding the combined mode for the Fanstoys, and I'm going to talk to you today about all of these. Really going to discuss the possible stability issues, the facts that they didn't even include parts yet. Then we're also going to discuss how to even pick based on these other competitors, which one you want, and of course, what put me over the edge to finally jump on board with Fanstoys, because I actually had decided I wasn't going to go with the Fanstoys combiners. But you're watching Titanium Hanger, where we talk about vintage to modern toys, collectibles, and games. Let's get right into this. But if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, turn on notifications, so you can get the almost daily content that we put out around here. And also, please hit the like button, because I would like that. So getting right into this, collectors are picking their combiner sets right now, and it's really a true combiner war. And I've had a couple of other videos talking about combiners and stuff like that, but from those videos I've had a lot of comments, I've had a lot of rumors, speculation, concerns, questions, and so we're going to clear some of that up, and we're not going to clear all of it up because we actually can't, but we're going to have this discussion because it needs to be had, and we're going to get into that. So helping out collectors pick a set. Also, you know, looking at price, availability, aesthetic, questions about whether there's even a box set, or are some of y'all going to just be in on 2 sets? I know people that say they're going to buy every version of Minosaur. That's not me. But anyway, getting into this, the first one I want to talk about is the possible stability issues. Now, why would you say there's stability issues? We know, well, we think we know it's going to be using parts forming following the Zeta formula. So with that said, let's talk about Zeta for a little bit. Zeta came out with their Bruticus, and the Bruticus was a very good option. I thought Bruticus was good. I have him, but I still see the stability issues. I put out a video earlier this week, and I had some trouble getting him in a good pose. Now, I know you can move that pelvis back and forth. There's a slider in there to help counterbalance the weight, so you could get yours, which is smart. It's a good way to do it, but it also creates another loose point in there. So we don't even know exactly how the Fanstoys one's going to go together. But the thing is, if you compare the Bruticus, which is all like 2.5 to 3 pounds heavier than the Zeta Superion, you're going to notice that Superion is vastly superior in stability. Like, I have no trouble. I pick Superion up, set him down, don't think about it. I take some time and care placing Bruticus anywhere, in any pose. In fact, I pose him to where his back is to a wall, so if he takes a fall, it's not a big deal to me. But with that being said, the weight is part of the problem. And we all know that Fanstoys has some weight behind their figures. We know Road King, we've got Road King, and he's heavy. And is this thing going to be top heavy? And with that being said, that big top heavy figure, you also have all the limbs made of diecast. Now, I think the ton of diecast in the legs will not be an issue. The diecast in the arms could be. Now, a lot of people have said, well, you know, the Zeta Superion figures are flimsy plastic and they're lightweight. Well, you know what? They kind of need to pose, to stand up properly, to not have all of those issues. And if you're having issues with your Zeta Bruticus and getting him posed properly, well, imagine adding another couple of pounds to that with all the diecast that Fanstoys is going to use. And I love about diecast. I am not against Fanstoys using diecast whatsoever. I'm not bashing that. I just know it poses a possible problem, and so do, what, hundreds of other people that have made those same comments. Also, looking at the fact that we assume they're going to use the Zeta, so Fanstoys is going to use the Zeta formula. We assume that, but yet the torso never came with Road King. And so we're looking at that and going, okay, let's get to the next point. No included parts yet. There's no parts. So when the Road King came out, it should have answered the questions for us, like, how's this going to combine? Instead, now it's a bigger mystery. We have more mystery, and I just don't understand how they're going to put these parts out. Now, X-Transbots and DX9 have not been very upfront with how theirs are going to combine. But we've seen what looked to be prototype images of what's we assume is a trailer that turns into the frame of an exoskeleton on both the DX9 and of the X-Transbots release. And so with that, of course, looking like they're going to utilize a trailer in some capacity to turn into the exoskeleton and all that is a smart idea, but it's still not 100% confirmed. And then there's talk about 2 trailers, now talk about there's no longer 2 trailers. So the mystery does not just lie with the Fanstoys, mystery lies with DX9 and X-Transbot also. Now we're entering into some serious rumor territory here, but the rumor is that we are going to get individual combined parts with each limb release. So we're saying the next version, or the next limb, the first limb I guess, when it comes to the Minosaur, should have a torso part or a connecting piece or something that should start clearing this mystery up. Now that's the rumor that's going around. And now I'm thinking, well, you know what? What if they have a torso piece that clips together? Like you have a lower left thigh and a lower right thigh, and then you've got the upper armature of the chest and where the arms connect. All these 4 pieces from the 4 limbs connect together, and then when they connect together, you really can't separate them. But that would be an interesting way to do it. Now I don't know if that's how they're doing it, because there's still a mystery. But with that, they still have not told us what's going to happen. Now, I would like some of this mystery to be cleared up with the first release, and I'm kind of excited about the first release of each Limbot. Let's get into talking about how do you pick a set. And with that, well, many collectors are not going to be in on 2 sets. I'm very certain. I've already decided a long time ago my combined mode is going to be X-Transbots. Especially from my vantage point on my shelf, even if he's an inch to inch and a half shorter than the rest of them, which I think it's only going to be an inch shorter. From my vantage point and the way I do my display, it's a non-issue and a non-factor to me because I'm not looking at them eye to eye. But I also have Zeta and Superion, and I love that thing. It's not perfect. There's issues, but it's super stable. It looks amazing on the shelf. It does what I want. It's got the size that I need. It fits the aesthetic. It's not perfect and it's not super tuned, but it still looks great. I have the Bruticus. The MMC Bruticus might win it out, but I don't think so. I think it's going to look like it's got some chicken legs on it. It's just the legs aren't going to look right, and then the Zeta parts forming torso piece really makes that set win, even though I think the limbs are going to be better on MMC. I don't know for sure yet, but I had my mind made up, and a big part of the mind made up was the price. Again, let's revisit the price. I've done this in the past. We're going to revisit it. So if you just go through and subsequently get MSRP on things, you could get the Zeta Superion and the Zeta Bruticus at the times of release, and you buy each one for about $375. Now they're releasing box sets that you can get as cheap as $330. X-Transbots, you're looking at $400 to $450 based on that Motormaster price. Everything else is, all the cards have been on the table for that except Motormaster and the trailer, the combining of that. But I think $400 to $450, still not a bad price. DX9, you're over $500. Maybe $550 because we don't know their Motormaster price. And then Fanstoys, every single one of those sets is over $600. So how do you pick? Well, you know, Fanstoys looks like a good set, but they're $600. So if you're saying I've already got a Zeta Superion for $375, or even you get them one of those places you can get them for like $350 or $329. Versus $600, that's almost twice as much for, in the end, if you're just going to use it in combined mode. The same thing, really. Now, is Fanstoys going to be $300, $250, $300 better looking on your shelf? I don't know. Is it going to have the same stability level? I don't know. So next, I asked if there's going to be a box set to Fanstoys, and of course, no response. Now, I could take this one of 2 ways. I could take this that now there's not going to be a box set, or there will be, but why would they tell you that? Because you could just wait and get a box set. So that's kind of a challenge too. But I'm really kind of disappointed that they just stopped replying to my email. I thought it was pretty cool that they were replying to my emails, and then all of a sudden they stopped. I started asking this question about combiners. Oh, no, we're shutting this down. So, with my mind dead set on getting all these other combiners, and I really was just going to get one limb from each of the Fanstoys combiners just to have one. I'm all in 100% on all the sets of Fanstoys, which is going to create another $1,200 deficit in my toy budget that I have to figure that out somehow. But at least I got a few months, maybe a year, to figure all that out. And the reason is because the bots look so good. The aesthetic in the bot mode for the first two limbs that are coming out, the first two main characters, the leaders, the Motormaster, the Silverbolt, look so good that I can't not get them. And I don't even care if the combined mode sucks, because I'm looking at these as individual releases and individual bot releases that I would not want to pass up. And I was about to pass them all up. But if you pass them up, what happens? Well, they sell out and they're impossible to get. What if down the road I realize the combined mode is amazingly solid and I want to get them, but they're all sold out, or a couple of the limbs are impossible to get? What if you're paying $200 for a limb down the road? What if you're having to pay $400 just for Road King? All these questions and all these issues pop up, and I'm like, screw it, I'm going to be in on it now. Also, I want to point out, if you think about, you're getting a full-size Fanstoys figure with all of the look and all the build and all the materials and all the aesthetic and everything you're getting from them for around $105. And comparable, this is a $130 figure if it wasn't part of a combiner. So if you're just getting one jet or limb jet figure, it's a deal at $105 compared to what they're charging up to $150. I mean, it would be comparable to almost like a Mindwipe. Like, Mindwipe's a great figure and he looks great, and size-wise it's going to be right in there with a Mindwipe size-wise, in my opinion. I haven't seen pictures side by side, but doesn't that seems like a great price and a great value and a great deal. But I've been stuck on the whole $600 for the set problem. And with these combiners, is a other concept is that it's like you are making small payments on a big $600 figure. A lot of people have talked about issues with their other big massive figure, which is Omega Supreme, and now it kind of has a lean to it, and I've seen a few of them in person. I don't see that it's that big of an issue. To me, it wasn't an issue. I'm not going to get that because of a slight lean or it looks bad, because from the straight on angle you really can't tell. So I'm confident that they could pull that off. But in the end, they win with aesthetic, they win with the build, they win with materials, and these things are just so hard to get once they're sold out. And Fanstoys is not in the market of doing a ton of reissues. They're in the market of getting out as many figures as possible right now, and I'm in the market of picking them up. Let me know where you stand. Let me know what bots you're in this whole combiner war race that's going on. Let me know which figures you plan on getting, or if you're passing on all of them. Like, subscribe. Tydirium Hanger out.